What's going on, everybody? Hey, in this video today, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite creative financing options, and that's called the house hack. So if you want to know how to live for free or even how to just minimize what your mortgage payment is, you want to watch this video. Let's go. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Logan Manzanares. I'm a business owner, I'm a fitness professional, also a real estate investor. Me and my wife currently own over $5 million in real estate that currently cash flows well over 6 figures every single year. And I make these videos with you to share with you how you can do the exact same thing, how to create passive income to create the freedom that you want in your life. So without further ado, here we go. All right, guys, so let me share you my little house hack strategy. So back in 2019, I found this home and it had a mother-in-law apartment on it. And so I talked my wife into moving in to this home, right? The problem was, this home was a lot worse condition than our current condo was. And we literally had one bathroom inside this entire home to service 3 other girls. And so how I convinced her is that we could really make our mortgage so it was a lot less, or potentially hoping, pinky promise, we could potentially live for free. So here's exactly how we did it. And so we bought this home in 2019 and it had a mother-in-law apartment with it. And so what we ended up doing is we ended up short-term rentaling that apartment. And after the first year, that apartment has paid all of our mortgage since we basically bought this home. So we've never had a mortgage since we bought this home. And we were able to turn our old property into a rental. And so now, not only did we live for free, but we also had another rental just by moving into this house hack situation. So what is a house hack? A house hack is when you basically buy a property or you move into a property that you have the potential to either rent out rooms or rent out other units, or potentially you have the ability to do both, right? And so here are some of the benefits of being in a house hack situation. The first benefit is that you can get into investment property for as little as 5 to 10% down. Now you hear other people tell you that you can get your property for 3.5% on an FHA loan. What I found in my experience is that that's not common in a duplex, triplex, fourplex situation, just because of the way how the numbers work. So generally you're gonna be looking at putting down 5 to 10%, which again is a lot less than you have to put down on a conventional investor loan, which is about 20 to 25%. So that means your entry cost to get into a multifamily unit or into investment property is way lower, right? Which is a huge pro. You can also have somebody in the other unit pay for a piece of your mortgage, right? So instead of you paying $2,000 a month for your mortgage, if you have a renter who pays $1,000, now you're only paying $1,000. So you get a piece of your mortgage that's paid for every single month. And if you do it really, really well, you can have all of your mortgage covered. So let's say you buy 3 units, your mortgage is $2,000, and you have each other unit rented for $1,000. Now you're literally paying nothing, you're living for free, and they're paying down your mortgage, and your property is appreciating, and now you have this big spread. Another huge benefit of doing a house hack situation is that you turn your biggest expense in most people's lives, which is their mortgage or the rent, and you can turn it into an asset. You can create cash flow. And that's a huge benefit of doing a house hack situation. Also, one of the big benefits of doing a house hack is that you get better terms on financing. So not only do you put less down, but you usually get a better interest rate. So for an example, right now, we refinanced our primary mortgage and we got below 3% interest rate. Literally the very next month, we bought a new investment property and it was closer to 4.5% on the rate. And so you literally get to save a point, maybe a point and a half if you get a primary mortgage. And here's the coolest part is that let's say you plan on living in this house hack situation just for a year. Well, after you move out of that year, you get to keep your financing in place. And so now you replace your unit with where you're living in, you replace with the renter, and now your mortgage and your PITI is really low, which means that you're gonna be able to cash flow really nicely on it. Another huge benefit of doing a house hack situation is you actually live in the home for 2 years, is that if you decide to sell that home after you live in for 2 years, if you do it within 5 years, then you're able to actually get all the profits from that sale tax-free, which is really, really cool. Now, a lot of times people will say, well, yeah, Logan, those all sound great. Those are all great benefits, but what about the cons, right? And there definitely is some cons. So before I walk you through some of the cons, if you like what you're hearing, like some of these benefits, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Like, I'm gonna put out more videos like this, but I need to hear some love. I need to hear you guys liking the videos. So let me know down below. All right, guys, let's talk about some cons for living in a house hack situation, right? And some of the cons are the biggest one that people complain about all the time is that, guess what? You have to live with somebody, right? Someone's gonna be on your property. You're gonna have neighbors that are either sharing walls with you, or they're sharing a floor with you, or a ceiling with you, depending on how your situation is set up. So that's one of the biggest cons, that you're just gonna be sharing your property with somebody else, right? Another con is that generally these multifamily units aren't quite typically as nice as like a single family home is. And so if you're moving from a single family home and you're gonna be moving into a house hack situation, you might be quote unquote downgrading for the time being, right? And so those are some of the cons in moving into a house hack situation. Now, what does a house hack look like, right? So we talked about some of the pros, talked about a lot of the cons, but what does it actually look like? So there's so many different ways you actually can do a house hack situation, okay? And so one, you can literally just buy a home, you can buy a single family home, and you can actually rent out rooms. Now, this would be a great situation if you're single and you're able to actually bring in roommates who pay down your mortgage, and you basically can live for free. Another way you can do it is you can buy a home that has an option for you to convert like a garage or convert a basement into its own separate entrance and separate unit. And then you can take what's considered a one, you can turn it into a two, right? And so that's how you can really maximize your purchasing power and your cash flow. The third thing you can do is you can buy a home that already has multiple units. So just like I talked about in my situation, like I bought a home that already had 2 units, and we converted one of those units into a short-term rental. We actually also did what's our next strategy is you can find a garage, you can find another piece of the house, and you can create a separate entrance over there, and you can create a whole nother unit as well. So now you can now in our specific case, we have 2 additional units on our property, and so that's also another strategy that you can do for yourself as well. Another strategy you can do is you actually can put your home on Airbnb, right? And so like when you go to travel, let's say you go on a week-long trip or you go for a weekend trip, you actually can put your home on Airbnb and you can make money from someone being in your home while you're gone. One of my favorite strategies. Another thing you can do is you can actually put your home on Airbnb forever and you can go find a cheaper place to live. So let's say you live in a tourist market where you can basically command a lot more for short-term rentals, is you can go find yourself a place to rent for, let's say, $1,500 a month, and you can rent out your home for $2,500 a month, and now you're living for free because your property is making you $1,000 every single month. Also, let's say that for some reason you can't buy a property for whatever reason, right? Then what you can do is, like, let's say you're renting your home right now, you can just rent out other bedrooms, right? You rent out other bedrooms. Again, as long as you control the lease, you control, like you're the controller of the property, and you can go find other people to rent the bedrooms out. And this is actually what I did before I bought my house. When I was in college, like I was the controller of the lease, and I found other people to rent the bedrooms out, and I made a little bit, I paid a little bit less than everybody else did, and I was able to basically make my rent a lot smaller because I controlled the lease itself. And so ultimately, there's so many different ways that you can do a house hack situation, and there's many other ways. These are just the ways that I've done and that I've seen and that I've recommended other people to do. And so, hey, like get out there, like go out there and find a house hack situation. Because I'm telling you what, here's a crazy stat, right? So if you're currently renting right now, here's a fun fact: if your rent is $1,350 a month and you do that for the next 30 years, you will have paid $486,000 on something that you will never own. And so if you're looking to get into a property and you don't have a ton of capital, this is the best way to do it, is do a house hack situation. You get not only one, you can get 2 units right away, and you can become an investor with as little as about 5 to 10% down. So if you like what you're hearing, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Logan, and I'm out. Bye.